Hi everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson. Today we are going to be looking at the law of conviction from the 16 undeniable laws of communication. I have a question. Raise your hand if you believe conviction is necessary for a fulfilled life. If you have your hand up, let me ask you one more question. Can you name your three convictions right now? And if you could answer the three convictions right now, I have one more question for you. Does your calendar reflect the convictions that you have? And if you have your hand still up, I have one last question for you. Do the people around you know your conviction? Have you communicated your conviction to those around you? If your hand is still up and you answered yes to all these questions, this lesson probably is not for you. But if you felt like it's true that I know I need conviction, but I'm not very clear about it, I've never articulated it to myself, then this session is for you. What we did was kind of a diagnostic. We looked at, do we understand conviction? Most of us do. But can we articulate our conviction? And we sort of struggle with it. And then does it reflect in our calendar? Does it reflect in the messages that we share? And most of us may not have a clear yes. We are going to look into ways to clearly define our conviction, and we are also going to look into ways that we could live our message based on the conviction that we have. What is personal conviction? Personal conviction or deeply held belief that shapes our action and decisions. Some of the questions that I would ask is, what value do you hold so deep in your heart and soul? What belief is so strong that you would live your life for it? What truth is so important that you would give your life for it? I often think of Martin Luther King Jr. He was willing to give his life for the civil rights movement because he had this deep conviction that all men were created equally, and because of that, he was able to live his life for it, he was able to give his life for it. That's personal conviction. The law of conviction states that the stronger you believe it, the more people will feel it. So how do we come up with our own conviction? We all know convictions are very important to us. We know we need convictions to lead a fulfilled life. But if someone asked us, can you name your top three convictions? We probably cannot come up with it right away. It's because we have not taken time to articulate it. So we're going to look into a 4-step process that will help us to think and state our convictions clearly. There are 4 questions we can ask. What do you feel? What do you know? What do you think? And what will you do? What do you feel? That's an emotional question. Often we live in this emotional zone more than we care to admit. We are all emotional beings. So ask questions related to your feelings. What makes me cry? What makes me joyful? What makes me angry? When you answer these questions, it will give an idea of what breaks your heart, what rattles you, and take a note of that. The second question to ask is, what do you know? There are some real truths that we know are important. Often, if you ask someone, they would say integrity is very important to me. If you ask me, I would say character is very important to me. These are all value-driven thinking that we know it's very important. Or between two things, are people important or things important? Most of us would know people are more valuable than things. So we know where it stands in terms of hierarchy. So that's what you answer. What do you know? What are the truths about it that you can clearly articulate and write it down? The next question to ask is, what do you think? So I often think of this as the amalgamation between your experiences, your feelings, some of the things that have happened to you, and the facts. You put them together and out comes your thinking. Like you put them all together and all these thoughts are marinated in your head, and then you come up with some kind of a principle. I'm angry because of this. I know I can make a difference because of the experience that I've walked myself. And that's what happens in the thinking process, and you are able to articulate it well. The last step is, what will you do? Imagine if you don't take actions related to the convictions that you have, then there's no point to call it a conviction, because conviction is a stand that you would take because of the deep belief that you have. So you will be able to act on it, and only when you act on it, you are a person with strong convictions. So, how can we develop conviction? I often see conviction as a diamond. It actually starts as a carbon, just experiences or information that you carry with you. Under the heat of reflection and the pressures of challenges, would transform the simple carbon into a diamond. And the cool thing about it is how diamonds can cut through anything. Your convictions will stand as a great tool to cut through distractions, to cut through obstacles, to cut through confusion. And that's what convictions do. So, how do we demonstrate conviction? I often see conviction as something more than us. It involves people, it involves our purpose, it impacts the people around us. We become so contagious that people will understand and feel the conviction that is deeply forged in our heart. When you deliver your message from that point, in terms of your conviction, your message is highly impactful. The people around you will feel it. You will become so contagious. And more than anything, your words will make an impact. It will transform the people around you because it has transformed you per se. I would like to read this quote by Winston Churchill, which talks about belief before persuasion. The orator is the embodiment of the passions of the multitude. Before he can inspire them with any emotion, he must be swayed by it himself. Before he can move their tears, his own must flow. To convince them, he must believe himself. By Winston Churchill. Think about it. When you speak a message deep within, it has a huge outreach to people. The world has a lot of informed people, but the world doesn't have people with strong convictions, and that would be you. I would encourage you to walk through the 4-step process and give some thought to your feelings, give some thought to the things that you know, give some thought to what you think, and act based on your conviction. To conclude, your greatest contribution won't come from the skills you possess, the knowledge you have, or the experiences you've gone through. It would come from the convictions that you have. Your message becomes so impactful because of your conviction. I would like to close with the law of conviction one more time. The stronger you believe it, the more people will feel it. Go and make an impact and let your message come out based on your conviction. Thank you. I hope to see you next week on the next law, the law of preparation.